And welcome to North West Tonight. I'm Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story. Urgent and emergency care at the Countess of Chester Hospital has been rated inadequate by the health watchdog. A report's called for rapid, widespread improvements at the Trust. Also tonight, more questions for Labour in Lancashire after a second parliamentary candidate faces an investigation over alleged anti-Semitic remarks.
We're back at Barrow AFC, the club we've been following all season with access all areas, and it's match night.
And there wasn't much love about the weather today, with lots of clouds and outbreaks of rain at times. Further rain expected in the forecast for tomorrow. I'll have all the details at the end of the programme.
Good evening and welcome to North West Tonight. Apologies for the technical difficulties at the beginning, but we start tonight with emergency services at the Countess of Chester Hospital having been given the lowest possible rating by the government's health watchdog. The CQC said the A&E had significant risk, highlighting a lack of staff, poor infection control and patients being treated in inappropriate settings. But it also highlighted improvements in maternity care. Well, our health correspondent Jill Dummergun's here now. And Jill, that inspection was initially triggered because of concerns about A&E, wasn't it?
That's right, yes, Annabelle. It was an unannounced inspection, and a lot of this is really down to too many patients crammed in there and too few staff to look after them. Patients being treated in the corridor without sufficient safeguards, trolleys, for example, blocking fire exits. Staff didn't have enough training. Rooms and equipment were sometimes dirty. Potentially dangerous substances weren't locked away properly. And on top of that, they were regularly among the worst trusts in the region for ambulance delays.
We did consider enforcement powers, but the executive team and the leaders within urgent and emergency care responded robustly and immediately with an action plan that we felt delivered to the concerns that we had raised. So hence we did not go down the enforcement route.
Now, it's worth saying that a lot of these problems were because the hospital was too full, because patients couldn't be discharged. And that's largely about social care, and that is largely outside of their control.
As I mentioned, there is better news in maternity services, though.
Yes, they had been rated inadequate. They've gone up a grade, so they're still seen as needing improving. But the CQC seemed broadly happy. The neonatal unit, which was the focus of so much attention through the Lucy Letby trial, also comes in for some praise. It moved to a new building in 2021, which was found to be a good environment with safe practices. Services for children and young people overall, though, dropped a grade to requires improvement. Now, we wanted to hear from the Trust about all of this. They didn't want to do anything, but they sent us a statement, and they said they're extremely proud that despite this, caring had been rated as good in every service the CQC had inspected, and that was down to the hard work of the staff. They said they had a way to go, but they knew where the challenges were and what they needed to do, and they were already starting to provide consistently better care to their patients. Now, this is a trust which has had 3 chief execs in 3 years. A huge amount of time and concentration will have been spent on the Lucy Letby case and everything that needed to be done in the wake of that. They were also exceptionally hard hit during the COVID pandemic and have struggled to recover, really. And I think what everybody's hoping now is for a period of stability which will allow them to get back on track and tackle some of these issues.
All right, Jill, thanks very much. Now, a second girl has come forward to police over an alleged rape in Rochdale over the weekend. 4 secondary school-age boys were arrested over the weekend in connection with the incident, but they've now been released on bail pending further investigation. Police have confirmed there are now 2 alleged victims, but are asking the public not to speculate on any identities. Lancashire police are warning parents about unregulated vapes after several children fell ill. Pupils at high schools in Chorley in West Lancashire experienced heart palpitations, and in one case, a child lost consciousness after using a device which may have been contaminated. Tens of thousands of pounds of stolen property has been recovered since the rural crime team was set up in Cumbria last September. The county has also seen a 10% reduction in machinery theft. A 28-year-old man from Cheshire who helped to run a child abuse website used by nearly 90,000 people, has been jailed for 16 years. Nathan Bake, a car mechanic from Runcorn, appeared at Chester Crown Court today for sentencing after admitting a string of charges. Andy Gill was in court for today's hearing, and you may find some details in Andy's report upsetting.
Chester Crown Court heard that Nathan Bake was second in command of a site on the dark web called The Annex. It had hundreds of links to child sexual abuse images, including some of the most extreme involving babies and toddlers. Bake became a senior moderator of the site in 2020 and was promoted to be head moderator in May 2022. He was arrested in the November of that year. The court heard that the website worked like a business, with 30 people around the world working shifts to moderate it, and chats between them being described as like staff meetings. Bake gave advice to other users on how to avoid detection, and also encouraged people to post images. One of his messages read, "Come on people, let's see what you've got for happy hour."
He was involved at the highest level of this website, where he shared abusive images of children. He encouraged that by all of the members. He shared manuals on how to evade law enforcement, how to abuse children. Although there's no evidence of any contact offending in Nathan's part, what he was telling people to do and encouraging on the site, there's massive potential for that to where children all over the world could have been abused from his advice.
When police raided Bake's home in Runcorn, they found hundreds of thousands of child abuse images on a hard drive and on his phone. He was also involved in 2 other paedophile websites. Bake's defence said he has Asperger's syndrome. He struggles to form normal social relations. They also said that he wasn't involved directly in child abuse. But Judge Patrick Thompson said websites like these allow paedophiles to normalise and rationalise their behaviour, and that can lead directly to children being abused. He jailed Bake for 16 years and said he must stay on the sex offenders register for life. Andy Gill, BBC North West Tonight at Chester Crown Court.
A football fan has been banned after shouting racist abuse at the Liverpool player Mo Salah. Everton fan Joel Barwise also mocked the Heysel Stadium disaster during the Merseyside derby. He was banned from attending any football match in the UK for the next 3 years. And if you want to find more stories on social media, we've hopefully made it easier for you. You can now follow BBC Manchester, BBC Lancashire, BBC Merseyside, BBC Cumbria and BBC Isle of Man on Facebook to get more local news. And the best of the BBC for where you live. You can find us on Instagram and X, or Twitter as it used to be known, as well. Now, a third senior Labour politician is understood to have been spoken to about a meeting that is at the centre of an anti-Semitism row within the party. Councillor Munsif Dad is the leader of Hyndburn Council's Labour group. The BBC understands that he was at a gathering where Azhar Ali and Graham Jones are alleged to have made remarks. Our reporter Eunice Muller is in Accrington for us this evening. So, Eunice, just tell us more about this latest development.
Annabelle, potentially more damaging attention and focus on that gathering of Labour Party supporters and politicians back in October, and a third name now. The BBC understands Councillor Munsif Dad, who's the leader of the Labour group on Hyndburn Council, was at that meeting. We understand the Labour Party has spoken to him and a number of other people who are said to have been there at that meeting. There's no suggestion that he said anything out of hand, and he has not been suspended. But of course, 2 other politicians have been suspended. Councillor Azhar Ali, who was standing in the Rochdale by-election, he is said to have made remarks about Israel. He has apologised unreservedly, but he was suspended. Also, Graham Jones, who was standing potentially as the candidate for the forthcoming general election, he is said to have made derogatory remarks. He too has been suspended as well, pending an investigation. I spoke to a number of people here who, of course, Accrington is part of the Hyndburn constituency, and what they thought about Graham Jones.
I think it's disgraceful if it's true, to be fair. I'm shocked that someone could talk like that.
The words could have been a bit better, but I mean, you know, you're probably representing the local community, what they want and what they believe in. So I'm with him. Like,
it makes you wonder whether it's worthwhile voting. Certainly, I don't think he'll do well in this local, the next election.
There is concern in the South Asian community over the Labour Party's stance on a ceasefire and its policy on the Gaza-Israel conflict, but the Jewish Labour movement have welcomed the decision made by the Labour Party as far as Graham Jones is concerned, but did criticise Labour for the delay they see in suspending Azhar Ali. All three men have been approached for comment. The Labour Party said they have taken decisive action.
Eunice, thank you very much. Now, rowing is a sport, rightly or wrongly, often associated with elite universities and can have the reputation of being a bit of a posh sport. But that stereotype is being broken in Warrington thanks to the work of a local charity. Warrington Youth Rowing has been set up to introduce a wider range of young people to the sport and shed its elitist image. Suzanne Haley reports.
A morning on the Mersey. Today's lesson, rowing.
OK, off you go. Go! Teamwork is the obvious big one, but they learn respect. They learn respect for their crewmates, they learn respect for the teachers and for the coaches here. And also we're very keen on the fact that they should learn respect for nature and wildlife and, be out in the outdoors. It's a great stress buster, and they look forward to this session every week because it's just something totally different.
The local high school is perfectly placed, standing on the bank of the River Mersey. School is just there, but for today, this is the classroom. This is all about making rowing accessible to everyone, and it's aiming to promote attainment, attendance and ambition.
Now, should we change over? So do you two want to stop? If you go.
Richard co-founded the charity that makes this possible.
One of the byproducts of what we did was that we wanted to smash this elitist image of the sport and to bring it back to the grassroots and to show the world that you don't have to be an Oxbridge graduate to take part in a truly wonderful sport.
Every year, 450 young people take part in rowing across the Northwest, all thanks to this charity project.
I went to state school like these guys, and rowing certainly wasn't on the curriculum, whereas now I think they learn a hell of a lot, not more, but different opportunities, different experiences, so that they have the opportunity to learn out with the school. The skills that they do learn are so valuable, and I just wish we could offer it to more kids, in the school. Because it is such a fantastic opportunity for them. They all love it. They all absolutely love it.
I love doing rowing. It's quite a fun sport because I'm normally used to doing basketball, so doing rowing is a big change for me. But it is really fun to do.
Together.
I'd love to do it more in the future. I really enjoy it now, so it would be great to do it at some point in the future. Yeah.
So you're glad you've had this opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to stay in time, and then we have to talk to each other.
We're mostly communicating and just trying to stay in time with each other so that we don't hit our oars together.
The River Mersey is a stone's throw from school. This project makes it a rich resource in providing new possibilities.
It gives our students the opportunity to consider a sport that they otherwise wouldn't have considered. Coming into school and knowing that they are going to be out on the river, which is just down the road from us, that they're going to receive first-class coaching, that they're going to be active, that they're going to be part of a team, that they're going to compete, it just inspires them.
Suzanne Haley, BBC North West Tonight, Warrington.
Now, as you'll know if you watch this programme a lot, and why wouldn't you, we've been closely following the fortunes of League Two side Barrow AFC. The club have let us film tactical briefings, training sessions and even the players' Christmas party. With the Bluebirds flying high in the League Two promotion places, we were invited to the sole legal stadium yesterday for the visit of Forest Green Rovers. The inner sanctum of Barrow's sole legal stadium an hour before kick-off. As the players do their stretches, final preparations are taking place all around the ground. In the busy corporate hospitality area, the managers meeting fans.
We've got a short meet and greet session. I don't think this will be an easy game tonight. I think these will cause us problems.
55 minutes to kick off. I did not expect you to be up here meeting fans with your Pete and greet.
Well, again, across the week you try and do all your jobs and all your stuff, and if you haven't done it by now, you've got a problem. People have paid good money to come and watch us tonight, so let's go and have a chat with them.
Pete will let you get on.
As the manager leaves to continue his preparations, the hospitality boss is flat out.
So this evening, as you can see, we're quite full. We've got about 100 in tonight. For the remainder of the season, we're pretty much sold out.
Are sponsors more keen to get on board now because the team is doing so well?
100%. We're generating interest all the time now.
In terms of revenue, where is this in the history of the club?
Oh, the best it's ever been.
Andrew's company is paying to sponsor the game.
It comes in at about £900, so you get the signed shirt and everything. So it's a good talking point at work. We put the effort in to support the local community and all that sort of thing.
So it's worth it for you. It's like mutually beneficial for the club as well.
It is.
Before this season, the chairman promised he'd continue to improve the club.
It's where we wanted to be. It's where we planned to be. The last 3 seasons, we've given the manager a playoff budget. First year, it didn't really work out, but we learnt lessons. And I think the last 2 seasons, it's paid dividends.
Talk about the budget. You're an accountant, of course. Forest Green come here. They're not going to bring many fans.
Yeah.
How much of a profit do you make on a night like this?
The club's never made a profit since we were involved, and probably won't do as we go forward. But we are trying to get to a self-sustainable model. When we first took over the club, we were probably taking 7,000 on a match day, and we've grown that now to about 40,000. Forest Green might not bring many on a Tuesday night, so you might make 35, 37,000. But it's an ever-growing feat that we're really proud of.
How long have you been coming to Barrow for?
A couple of years.
Yeah, and how better have things got in that time?
Better.
I think it really lifts the town, and it's like, because it's a working town as well, everybody really gets behind it.
Last year we had a good season. We thought if we can keep that going, that'll be great. But no, couldn't see where we are now.
It's a fantastic atmosphere. Like, I've never seen as many people here in the ground. You know, the crowd has just got much greater over time.
What does it feel like watching this club week
Brilliant.
in?
Brilliant. And we've got a good manager.
Never thought we'd see us back in the league.
No.
Are these the best times ever?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for a long, long time.
Come on, gents, let's move, please. Yes, ma'am. James, now, come on, mate, let's get it out.
Look at this for access in the tunnel as the Barrow and Forest Green Rovers players walk out onto the pitch. Follow us on here now. Listen to the roar of the crowd. It's not for me, is it? Barrow have lost. I don't want to be too corny about this, but it's Shrove Tuesday and the mood's as flat as a pancake now and the rain's coming down.
After a defeat, the last thing Cole Stockton probably wanted to do was a meet and greet, but he did, while for the manager it was quickly down to media commitments.
Doesn't feel like it right now, obviously, to anybody here, but this is a positive place. This is a town that's buzzing.
It certainly is, and again, last week they were so desperate to give something back to the town and to make the town proud of what we're doing. So when you do get nights like this, then it hurts. I certainly take tonight personally, but the town's on the up, and hopefully that continues.
You win some, you lose some, don't you,
It's
Annabelle?
a shame, isn't it? Speaking of win some and lose some, you went actually onto the pitch, didn't you? And you went for the Crossbar Challenge, I believe, in front of 3,000 people. Should we have a look?
Oh,
just
you've not
just
got
see
that,
how
have you?
well you did.
Oh, no.
Can we see it?
I had slippy
Here we go.
trainers on. Yeah,
Crossbar.
I thought it was. No, I thought it was hit the goal line.
Did you? Was Crossbar Challenge not a clue that you meant to hit the
I can't believe he's
crossbar?
put this in.
Let's have a look.
It
Hang on.
literally set off my sciatica, this.
Oh no, your sciatica.
No, honestly.
Right, third attempt, third time lucky. Let's have a look.
Anything, honestly. No, see,
Oh, bad luck. So sciatica, it was slippy. What's the actual excuse?
it was slippy.
You're just not very good.
I'm the school team regular, me. It's just, don't judge me off that.
Well,
but
anyway,
yeah.
well done. I mean, a 7-year-old did manage to do it just before you, but well done anyway.
This is all lies. I'm going to kill Howard for putting this in.
Thank you very much, Ian. Go and kill the producer. OK, petrol stations will be almost out of flowers by now. The shelves in the cheap sections of card shops will be bare and perfume counters will have sold out of their biggest bargains. Yes, it's Valentine's Day again. And Mrs McCann, if you're watching this, bad luck, because you've not got anything very good coming your way, because one factory on the edge of the Peak District pumps out romance all year round and has been doing so for 70 years now. Our resident Romeo, I don't think so, Phil McCann reports.
The Love Heart machines have been whirring away here at Swizzles in New Mills since 1954. It's started life as a novelty gift in Christmas crackers. This is how Love Hearts start life now. OK, it's not very romantic. On the next floor down, the powder is broken into sweets, and those that don't make it are used in pig feed. They make 1.75 billion Love Hearts here every single year. And I know what you're wondering, how do they decide which message goes into which pack? Well, the answer is they don't. It's completely random. But they make more of their most popular sweet nothings, so you're more likely to get them. On to the next floor then. This one is the packing room. Here in the packing room, Andy met Adele over 30 years ago. They've been married for 25 years.
Well, you used to get the odd one and put it on the, on the machine. Like say love you or, will you or something like that.
Do you still do that?
Not anymore, no.
And the love is clearly in the air here, as well as the dust from the sugar.
There's a lot of couples here that met here, had families together, and that still continues, that younger people now are meeting together and coupling up. How sweet it is to be loved.
The way these are made has stayed pretty much the same over the years in this old candlewick factory that Swizzles moved into during the Blitz, but the romanticisms on the front have changed with the times.
What we've had, page me, fax me, more recently we've had emojis, so bringing into a more younger sweet eater, and then in the last couple of years we've brought in positive messages of kindness, being you are loved, love me, be kind and love yourself.
Government crackdowns on the positioning and promotion of sweets in shops to tackle child obesity means the future isn't simple for sweet firms like this one. But on Valentine's Day, these might seem like a reliable fallback for the husband who's unprepared. Are these an acceptable Valentine's present, do you think?
Oh yeah, well, I think they are. They're very, very popular.
Unless, like mine, your wife doesn't like sweets. Phil McCann, BBC North West Tonight, New Mills.
She probably doesn't like cards from the cheap section either, Phil. Mrs. King, I'm sure, is going to get something much nicer, isn't she?
Maybe so. Maybe so. Yes, love may have been in the air today. Look at that from our weather watcher in Lancashire. But you may not have loved the weather because it's been pretty cloudy. We've had some outbreaks of rain through the day as well. That was the scene earlier on today in Rochdale, and there's more of that cloud and rain to come overnight. You can see that rain spreading its way north and eastward. It will be quite heavy at times as we go through the night, but it is going to be incredibly mild. Overnight temperatures down to about 10 or 11 degrees Celsius. Now, bear in mind, those are the typical values you'd expect to see in an afternoon in February. So, yeah, very mild weather. The early morning rain does clear away to the northeast. It will stay pretty wet in the Isle of Man. Elsewhere, there'll be some bright spells, bit of brighter weather into the afternoon before the cloud then thickens again with some further outbreaks of potentially heavy rain into the afternoon. So it'll be worth keeping the umbrella handy. But look at that, temperatures 13, 14, 15 degrees Celsius in Manchester and Chester into the afternoon. Now, that area of rain that we'll have on Thursday will move away to the east, associated with this area of low pressure, and then we'll have just a ridge of high pressure building in behind that for Friday. So in the morning, it'll be cloudy. There'll be some outbreaks of rain. That will tend to clear away to the east, and then things improve into the afternoon. Still one or two showers perhaps over the Pennines, but for most of us, a drier afternoon on Friday with some sunny spells. Temperatures just a little bit lower, 10 to 12 degrees, but still pretty mild for the time of year. And then into the weekend, well, more rain in the forecast. It will come, through later Saturday into Sunday morning, and those temperatures remaining about 9 to 12 degrees Celsius.
I've got you a love heart.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Do you want to choose it? I've opened them already. I haven't fondled them. That sounded wrong.
What have we got here? Oh, cheeky boy.
Cheeky boy.
Right,
I've
what have you got?
Meant to be.
Oh,
I don't know what's meant to be. I've given sweets up for Lent, so you can have these.
OK, Mrs. King, there you go. Oh, we're going everywhere.